You can legitimately title this video, Let's Dig into the Secret Matrix of the NFL Algorithm. That's technically an accurate title. So we have a Thursday night game. Like, I know people care about, hey, who's going to win the 49ers game? It's pretty obvious that the Niners are going to beat the Giants. We think. But more than going over this game per se, I want to talk about what's going on with the NFL algorithm because week 3, the week that we are in, this is the last week of what I call incomplete stats for the year, meaning everything would work fine and the update process for the NFL algorithm would be fairly standard. And I could do a video explaining that process in probably about 15 minutes to show you all the different sheets that you need to update from RotoWire and what you need to do with any errors. If you bring in some players and they have an error or a dash line, you're going to add them. There's some things I'm going to talk about for those that purchase a copy of this and want to update it yourself. I'm really helpful. I mean, not too many people complain about not being able to update it. I mean, if you're not a technical person at all and you never ever have spent any time in Microsoft Excel, then yes, it's probably going to be too much for you. But if you have mild experience with numbers and you want to dig in and use this, this is the best tool out there for predicting games that's ever been created. I just say it. I keep saying that and I wait to get sued because I'd love to get sued on this because in defending myself, I get to present the results and prove that they're better than the odds makers. Like that's kind of what happens is that's why these become what the odds makers use and the lines start to emulate what's in the file when we get further into the season because they get more and more accurate. So anyway, like enough bragging about how good they generally are. Well, there are some problems early on, and I have to let you know about them. Meaning you cannot get the current season numbers in the matrix yet. Here's what I mean. There's super secret formulas. They're not really all that secret. They're only secret in the sense that they're difficult to understand. Meaning you've got an amplifier and an attenuator of both offense and defense based on whether or not a team is home and away. And it compares the points they score at home versus the points they score away throughout the season. Here's the problem. There have only been 2 weeks played, and some teams didn't play any home games at all, like Miami, and some teams didn't play any road games at all, like Denver. And look what happens to the formulas. We get a bunch of spotty errors everywhere when we try to bring in the formulas for the current season, which I cannot wait to do in week 4, because I can pretty much assure you that all these teams are going to fill in their holes this week, meaning does Atlanta play a game on the road this week? They probably do. Does Denver play a game on the road? I think they go to Miami. Yes. Does Green Bay play a game at home? Yes, they do, or something. I don't know. Well, all this stuff should fill itself in. Problem is, it doesn't work right now. So guess what? This doesn't work yet. I have to still use something like last year. Now, there are those of you, and if I was tempted to really spend some time with this, but I know it's not really all that fruitful because it only would apply for 1 week, is I would try to go through here and I would try to estimate how many points you think the team would score given the situation here, and you get probably a better prediction. But it's too subjective and it's not what I'm really good at with the algorithms. I'm not good at making up numbers that go in here. I'm good at taking numbers that already exist in history and making them fit into the predictive model. So I'd say wait till next week before you really go gung-ho and think this algorithm has a better cue in to know what's happening, because it's still using some of last year's stuff, unfortunately, in these very, very key formulas. So take it easy in week 3. That being said, how do you play these games? And what do you do here on something like Thursday night? Well, because the algorithm is really good at picking winners, I'm tempted, this is down to minus 500. I'm tempted to say you just make this your survivor pool pick and you take 20% on your money. It means if you bet $100 on the Niners at minus 500, say, you get $120 back total. It's not a fortune. It's not all that exciting. It's kind of nerve-wracking, but I think it's the smart wager because they are really supposed to crush this game, both by win score. And what else has happened this season for the Giants? They got blanked by a good team in Dallas, 40-0, and they almost blew a game to Arizona when they were down by 3 touchdowns in the second half. So why on earth would the Giants, I believe, on the road on Thursday night, even if with Saquon Barkley may be out. I haven't updated the injury report, but even if he's not out, he's close to out because he looks sort of injured. So he's not going to be 100%. So they got to go off the guy they give the ball to all the time. Like, I agree, something else might happen, but it says the Niners really take care of this game. There's a 10-point spread. That seems to be on bettables. That's why I say you just take them to win and you take the 20%. I mean, making 20% on a day is a very good return if you're thinking about daily money. The problem is, yeah, it's true, you don't win every game. So there's always a chance there could be an upset. So if you lose 100%, it takes you 5 times getting this pick right in order to make money at a minus 500 line. Well, I mean, maybe that's the way to do sports betting appropriately, is that there's greater than a 90, 80, 90% chance probably that they win tonight. And therefore, that's why it's a profitable bet long-term, even at minus 500, most likely. Now, let's talk about a difference. Knowing that, I wanted to finish off this with it, knowing I can't give you exact stuff for the season yet because it hasn't occurred yet. It's only week 3. So we'll take it easy. And I'll do a private video for this. You purchase the file going over every game. But as for this one, it ends up being the Niners just winning. That's what we're going to say. There's a college football game tonight as well. And this one's a little bit different. You know, this algorithm, all the algorithms are different slightly, even though it's football. And so I learned a lot from reading the board on this game. This is Georgia State away at Coastal Carolina. Georgia State has a negative win score here, meaning the standings, as we have them, would not afford the benefit to Georgia State. The point projections do, though. They say Georgia State beats Coastal Carolina 27-21. Is this to be trusted? And why is this here? And here's what we can learn about that. This number of a strength of schedule differential of minus 12 means that the teams that Georgia State has played right here have a ranking of negative 13, and the teams that Coastal Carolina has played have had about, they play like an average sample of teams, not really great, not really bad. So Georgia State apparently played some worse teams, which would have inflated their points a bit. So everything here actually makes perfect sense, including the line, meaning I see why Georgia State is plus 220, because they've played worse teams and they're on the road. So even though they look like they could potentially win, even their win score doesn't say that. So Coastal Carolina at home probably wins this game. However, given that Georgia State has this benefit, you know that this might be a little closer than the odds makers are saying. Unfortunately, you can't get a touchdown. Everything about this game said there's nothing you can do here. Because you don't want to pay minus 250 because this is still not a big win score percentage. Like, you pay like minus 110 to take Coastal Carolina, but not minus 250. Like, that's a bad line for this situation, which could go either way. And you can't get more than a touchdown with Georgia State. I guess you could take an alternate line, but that's really what you want, is you want this to be a 1-score game where Georgia State can keep it that close because they're not that bad. All right, so college football really, really tough on Thursday night. NFL, really easy to probably secure yourself 20% profit for the night. And it's not super gambly and exciting, but it's mathematically, they're going to win this game more than 4 out of 5 times. And that's what you need to win. Yeah, you actually need to win 5 out of 6 times, right? I think so. I think you need to get a 90% win rate on the Niners. in terms of other things that have really good lines, you can see that even at a magnifier of 6, it doesn't want to put them over even 24 points. So somehow maybe the Giants seal up and try to play a defensive game because they know they're already going to be in trouble. But San Francisco has so many weapons that you'd think they'd get more points. So the over under of 45 is much higher than it's coming in here. So there's also that. So it'd kind of be like a Niners, but you can never really estimate points, and points at this point of the season are even more difficult because of the fact that we are missing some of that current season information. So I just want to let everybody know the tutorial videos are coming week 4, when I can show you the process in depth and go through every sheet and be like, okay, that is the full gamut of when you need to update it any week going forward after week 4. All you have to do is, update your update certain sheets here by going and saying, do your injury report, do your odds, make sure all your scores are updated, and you don't actually have to change this number anymore to show what week it is. We're doing this real fast. This 2022 schedule is going to be gone next week, everybody. 2022 is disappearing as of week 4. This whole sheet will be gone. Did you already add your stuff to the cube? Guess what? You're getting a sneak peek at week 3 for those that are still here. Sneak peek. Did you update your standings? You got to do this one, because this one matters. This is a little annoying. I'll show that in the video. Did you don't have to do anything in the matrix once we adopt these new formulas for the season, which I showed you why we can't do that. Your players, you will look at, did you update your depth charts? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Did you update your player stats? And look to see if there are any new players that you need to add. Did you update your rushing stats? Did you update your receiving stats? Did you update your kicking stats? Did you update your defensive stats? And returns I haven't even done yet, but I will. That's it. And then you refresh and you paste in the cube and you have picks. It's about a half-hour process, I'd say, to do that rollover on like a Tuesday or Wednesday, but it's not that bad starting in week 4. As of right now, it's a disaster because we don't have enough stats yet for the season. I'm trying to mishmash and combine 2 season stats, and that's just asking for trouble. So we'll just see how it goes. Let's root for the Niners tonight. Good luck. May all your picks. May all your picks be winning, but of course, may the Niners be winning. And 23-10 is a pretty good score. See if that happens.